When it comes to making new life in the animal kingdom, you've basically got two main playbooks: laying an egg or giving birth to live young. Today, we're going to unpack the incredible evolutionary strategies behind both.
I mean, it seems like such a simple question, right? But it actually opens up this huge, fascinating evolutionary story. This choice between an egg and a live baby is a really high-stakes decision that has shaped life on our planet for millions of years. So how does it all even begin?
Well, to really get a grip on the difference between eggs and live birth, we have to go right back to square one, to that single biological moment that kicks the whole process off.
And this is the moment, the spark. This fusion is where everything begins. You have the genetic blueprints from two parents combining to create a totally unique individual, which starts its entire life as just one single cell called a zygote.
Okay, so let's meet the two key players in this whole drama. On one side, you've got the male gamete, the sperm. It's this microscopic cell totally designed for swimming. And on the other side, the female gamete, the ovum or egg. It's much, much larger, and it carries all the initial nutrients needed to get things going. Each one holds exactly half the DNA for a new life. Now, right away, life has to make a big choice. It's the first major fork in the road. Where does this fusion actually happen? For a lot of land animals like us and birds, it's internal. It happens safely inside the female's body. But for tons of aquatic animals like fish and frogs, it's external. They release eggs and sperm into the water and just hope for the best. And believe me, this decision has huge consequences for what comes next.
Okay, let's dive into strategy number one. And honestly, this is the most popular one on the planet by a long shot: laying an egg.
So the fancy scientific name for these egg layers is oviparous. And the key thing to remember here is that the embryo does all of its growing outside the mother's body, sealed up nice and tight inside that egg.
Seriously? Think of an egg as the ultimate all-in-one portable nursery. Everything the little embryo needs is packed right inside. The yolk? That's its perfectly pre-packed lunch. And that outer shell, whether it's hard like a chicken's, leathery like a snake's, or kind of jelly-like from a frog, that provides a super important barrier against the big bad world.
And here we go. This is the classic example everyone knows, right? The chicken. The hen has internal fertilization, but then she lays a hard-shelled egg. That embryo develops for about 3 weeks, kept warm by its mom, until a little chick hatches, ready to go. But don't for a second think all eggs are the same. Oh no, the egg strategy is incredibly diverse. Just take a look at the frog. Here, both fertilization and development happen outside. The eggs are laid in these big jelly-like clumps in the water. There's no hard shell, which means the developing tadpoles are way more exposed to predators and whatever else nature throws at them.
All right, that's the egg layers. Now, let's flip the script and look at strategy number two, which takes a completely different approach: keeping the baby safely inside for the entire journey.
The name for this strategy is Viviparous. So instead of laying an egg, these animals, and this includes pretty much all mammals, give birth to live, developed babies. For these live bearers, the entire operation is an inside job. After fertilization, the embryo implants in the uterus. And in here, there's no pre-packed yolk. Instead, the embryo gets a constant, steady supply of nutrients directly from its mother. It's an incredibly protected and stable environment to grow in.
I mean, look at this. This is parental investment on a whole other level. The developing fetus is completely sheltered from the outside world. It's kept at a perfect temperature, and it's fed around the clock. It's just a profound level of care when you compare it to laying an egg.
Okay, so we've got these two totally different blueprints for creating new life. But you gotta wonder, from an evolutionary point of view, are there trade-offs? Is one strategy just, better than the other? This chart really breaks it down for us. You've got development outside versus inside. Nutrient supply from a limited yolk versus a direct pipeline to mom. Fertilization can be either or for egg layers, but it's always internal for live bears. And that leads us to the most critical difference of all: the chance of survival. And that right there is the single biggest trade-off. Think about it. An egg out there in the world is vulnerable. It can get eaten, it can get too hot or too cold, it can just fail. But an embryo growing inside the womb, it gets constant protection and food, which dramatically increases its chances of making it. But of course, just when you think you've got nature all figured out, she loves to throw in a few curveballs. There are some animals that just don't fit neatly into either of these boxes. So, let's meet some of nature's weirdos, the ones that break all the rules. First up, the platypus and the echidna. They're mammals, they have fur, they make milk, but they lay eggs. And then you have this other amazing middle ground strategy called ovoviviparity. Animals, like certain sharks and snakes, they make eggs, but they keep them inside their bodies until they hatch. So the babies are born live, but they got all their food from the yolk while getting protection from their mom. It's like the best of both worlds. And that leaves us with one last big question that's just so fascinating to think about. If live birth is so much safer, why haven't all animals evolved to do it? Why does the strategy that seems way riskier, laying eggs, still completely dominate the animal kingdom? Well, the answer is a really complex balancing act between energy, numbers, and survival, a puzzle that really speaks to the absolutely incredible diversity of life on Earth.